purpose of my speech today is to be an informative speech. My speech will be on the events that have historical events that happened on June 6, 1944, D-Day. By far the largest military invasion the United States has ever been involved with, which led pretty much to the compromise and the winning of the European campaign over in Europe, especially during the first part of World War II. That reference, I could say, is a start. So imagine you're 18, 19, 20 years old. You don't know how to swim, you've never been out of the country, and you're shipped overseas to a foreign country that you've never really been to. And not knowing what to really expect, you have your fellow brother beside you. I personally know three World War II vets who are very, very old, but I've gotten a chance to interview. Two who served in Normandy, one who jumped in with the 101, and the other one who hit the beach in Omaha. And he had other buddies he lost there at Juno Beach also. It's amazing hearing the first eyewitness accounts of everything that happened from his perspective. This gentleman, Bill Welsh, call him Wild Bill. It's interesting to hear that when he was going across the English Channel from Britain, heading over towards Normandy, his sergeant was beside him telling him, you know, we're going to die on this beach. We're not going to survive. And go to figure, he nor the majority of the guys on the boats could not swim. So sadly enough, people don't understand of the 9,000 plus total deaths that happened on that beach over the taking over of the Omaha and Juno Beach. It was majority of the deaths were not conflicted by combat like wounds like bullets. A lot of men drowned, unfortunately. But you know, in other aspects, those who jumped, they jumped in most nearly dusk, oncoming fire coming from the bottom. The heavily fortified Normandy was fortified by the Axis powers, of course the Germans, and they were prepared for the Americans and everybody else to invade from the far west side of the beach, whereas all the forces were on the west, and the Americans came in towards the east and west. Many, many men were killed because D-Day +1, +2, +3, within 5 days of actually securing the beachhead, they brought in over 100 million tons of armor and everything, including fuel, trucks, extra ammunition, refueling points, and everything else once they secured down themselves a loading dock, which helped lead, of course, towards the liberation of France and, of course, the liberation of Europe in general from the Axis powers. They invaded on June 6, 1944, and that campaign was done by October, I can't remember the exact date, of 1944, which later led to most of the men soon being let out of Europe, coming back to the States. Some who, in lieu, crossed over, ended up being in Iwo Jima the following year, 1945, which is, of course, the second biggest amphibious landing the United States military has ever done. But that was solely all Marine Corps. That was 9,000 plus deaths just to take a little island of maybe, 13 square foot? Yeah, 13,000 square miles.
Iwo Jima?
Iwo Jima, yes. Iwo
You
Jima.
bet.
Yes, that was very unfortunate. One of the bloodiest battles well known to the Marine Corps. But that was all Marine Corps. Some use of merchant marines and a lot of use of the Navy. Warships off the coast. That was interesting within itself. But either way, getting back to the story on my informative speech, I'm going to tell you that the events of Normandy in June 6, 1944 were immensely, not really underappreciated, but it just took Germans less than a week to take over the country of France. It took us about 4 to 5 months to take it back over, and pretty much to kick the German butt, you could say. But it's all good. With all the deaths and all the different jumps, I will lead to the story of the gentleman who jumped into Normandy. His name was Joe Thompson. He jumped at age, I think he was 18 or 17 when he jumped in to Normandy. Jumped in with the 506. I can't remember what company, because there's so many companies well known. But you see, the Band of Brothers series takes reference to Easy Company, the 501 or 502 Easy Company, well known with Captain Winters and all the other gentlemen who survived. It's amazing to look back at it compared to the military now. I'm in the United States Army, and the Marines, we get our midday break during our campaign. We get like a mid 6-month break. These men went there, they stayed there until the war was over. So, considering the majority of the airborne units took 100% casualties, it was quite hectic. One of the bloodiest battles for our Army, other than the different events of Bastogne, and of course Operation Market Garden, which was amazing because those jumps in Holland. They would think there were a total of 5 or 6 jumps in the European campaign, which no man actually jumped in more than 2 or 3 of them. I think 3 was the max, and that was with easy company from the 101 Fort Campbell, Kentucky. In conclusion to my speech, I'll state that the events of D-Day, Normandy, June 6, 1944, without the events of what happened that day and the loss of those men and the taking of that beach, I think here in America, would we be speaking German? Who knows? But thank God we speak English, and we're still America, land of the free. Yeah.